Jurgen Klopp has announced his resignation at the end of the season. Why do you think he's resigning, lads? Let's just assume it isn't a health-related reason. Fingers crossed, even though I did want to punch him in the head once upon a time. Like, let's just say...
Metaphorically.
Fingers crossed.
It's nothing.
Do you know why he's leaving?
Mo Salah's leaving at the end of the season, and he knows that he managed just to convince him for one more season. And in my opinion, as good as Liverpool are looking right now, even without Mo Salah, with Mo Salah, it's still almost impossible to win a title against Man City.
Yeah.
Without Mo Salah, it is impossible in my opinion. And I think that Klopp has put blood, sweat and tears into this Liverpool side for a long, long time now. And for me, I've actually seen a mental decline in him, which is what I was actually more annoyed about over the years. Was I used to really like Jurgen Klopp when he came, but now I look at him and how miserable he can be consistently on the sideline.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And looking at the way he's been so aggressive to that news reporter and so many moments of like aggression that I think that there's we've seen it with Mourinho. When you keep going up against an unwinnable force like Pep and all that money, it grinds you down. And look, he should have a dynasty of trophies right now, Klopp. He will not have what he deserves to have because of that. And I think he looks at this season like, realistically, energy-wise, I'm getting older. Do I have what it takes to rebuild all over again without Mo Salah? This is my last big go of it.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on that one. I think even it
a little bit like Fergie, maybe.
Yeah. Well, Fergie managed to. That's why I think he's a psycho, because how many years was he at the helm? And
but what I mean is, that last season, he knew, I'm winning it this season, but there's a rebuild coming, and I need to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it took the wind out of the Liverpool fans. That quadruple thing, which was so close, it was so possible. It doesn't happen. And even like when Poch got to like Champions League final, he needed a gardening leave. He said, enough's enough for me. I think to drive your team that way and then to lose out, and you're losing out to a team that it just keeps getting better. Mm-hmm. You're like, even as you think, we just about met them, they go up another level.
Pep has spent something like 4 times what Klopp has.
That's what it is.
It's impossible to keep you going and keep up with them. He knows that they're not going to be able to compete.
Well, there was a quote that, and you got to remember, it's not just in England. He had exactly the same thing in Germany. At Dortmund, same shit, and the same manager. He was up against Guardiola again, and the exact quote when he was in Dortmund, he said, it's like, we've got a bow and arrow, and if you aim a bow and arrow correctly, you can do a bit of damage. But Munich have got a bazooka.
Yeah,
and he's come to the Premier League,
and they can take
and never mind bazookas. Man City have got tanks.
Yeah,
and it's never been a level playing field.
It's never been a level play, and I think the tragedy of Klopp's career, because I honestly think you could make the argument he could be a better manager than Pep because of the resources he's done things with. I'm not sure I'd make that argument. You could make it though. The tragedy of his career, he's going to look back on 15, 20 years of work, and there's not enough trophies there because he's been up against like Goliath every single time. And you look at last summer, let's be honest, we spent all of last season thinking he was going to get Bellingham. We all thought he was going to get Bellingham. And you look at what Bellingham is doing, like what you're saying about Salah, if you got a bow and arrow, that's your magic one. That's the one you can hit, right? That's Bellingham. Bellingham is your game changer. It's your difference maker. It's, you know what, spend whatever money you want because I got Bellingham. And on his day, he'll beat everyone. He didn't get it.
But Bellingham was meant to go to Real Madrid, man. When we all
thought he was going to Liverpool. Yeah. We remember the England camp last World Cup. Like, mate, Henderson and Trent Alexander-Arnold were walking around like they were bouncers with Bellingham. We all thought he was going there. I think Klopp must have thought it for a little while. Maybe Bellingham's entourage always wanted Madrid. I think it's tragic that Klopp's there. I honestly do. He winds me up, and I hope he finds himself a league where the wind doesn't blow and the grass isn't too long and he can never get upset by the things he gets upset.
Or the kick-off times. Don't forget that.
The kick-off times, Saturday kick-offs.
And I hope all the referees consistently give it everything his...
Yeah. Even more so...
Christmas as well. He hated that.
But at the same time, Klopp's the only reason that Man City haven't got 7 Premier Leagues out of 7.
And obviously,
and corruption,
and the corruption as well. Like, let's be real. Even if Pep was in this league with just even, I don't know, to be able to spend double the money Klopp could, it would have been closer then. Like for the amount of money Pep was spending ahead of Klopp, for Klopp to only miss out on titles by a meager few points here and there, you're thinking, if you both had the same wallets, there's no way Klopp wouldn't have dominated. In my opinion, I don't even like Klopp, and I still think he would have fucking dominated.
Well, and the other thing, when they did win their title, it was lockdown. I can see why he looks at this and he's fed up and he's done. And look, there's a big rebuild to be done there. There's a bit like it's not just.
He's left them in a great position.
It's not, mate. It's not just Salah. Like everyone.
Virgil van Dijk's contract up in 18 months. So he couldn't obviously think about his options. I mean,
Trent,
and also
Trent.
One of the main pulls at that time was to sign for Jurgen Klopp. It's not to say that Liverpool aren't a great club, but they weren't viewed as the giant he has restored them to. Now Liverpool are one of the biggest clubs in the world again, and for the majority of my life, I looked at them as like a former giant until Klopp got a hold of them again.
They're going to get a Galactico manager though next. Like that is going to be a massive managerial point.
Do you think they get Xabi Alonso?
I do. I think that's the one that's just written in
do you know the question I'd ask about Xabi Alonso? You look at how, like, I think a lot of people go, yeah, he's top of the league in the Bundesliga, get him. I don't think anyone actually looks at the way he plays football. He plays a 3-4-2-1. Yeah. What do you do with Trent Alexander-Arnold with that?
I mean,
is he a wing back again? Suddenly?
Well, Trent could play anywhere in that system, couldn't he? He could play as a wing back, or he could play as a centre mid.
It's not how he's played this season.
I think you lot are missing the elephant in the room, as you lot mentioned in this game. Liverpool suffocate teams. To lose a manager like that, this is their Fergie, this is their Wenger, this is the main guy.
This is what I'm saying.
I've got a question about the timing though. He's announced this. Obviously, it was January when he announced it. Will this make them more or less likely to win a title?
It helps them.
For me, it's more.
This helps them. This helps them.
Why?
They're doing it for their
because in history, when you know a manager's going, players usually feel like they're less likely to. Now I know Klopp's an anomaly, right? He's a legendary manager.
Yeah,
but so, it doesn't always help.
Well, do you remember Fergie? Fergie in 2002 said he was going to leave at the end of the season. Then Arsenal win the league, and he was fed up and he went, "Fuck it, I'm staying a bit longer."
Is the whole table saying Jurgen Klopp saying it now helps their title?
Helps, absolutely.
I'm not sure.
Absolutely. I'm going to say, the reason why I say absolutely is because Liverpool fan, that guy's getting a statue. That guy is Mr. Liverpool. They're going to want to see him off good. And those players, they're going to run through. I've seen these players come back from international duty early just for Jurgen Klopp. So now he said he's going. I think that's something that gives them the impetus. It's like what happened with Pep when they announced the charges.
So when you like the manager, you won't fuck him around, right?
He's done this whole chat.
He's got me there.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I have to say,
we got him.
The other fact that I would say, Brian, is that the Anfield crowd is going to be electric every single game. They've got it's going to be another level. It's going to be another level when they're sending off Jurgen, the manager that has been so elite for them. It's just going to completely change things from that perspective.
Question though, in terms of like we've talked about how unfair it was in Klopp in terms of the monster that he was up against in Man City and Pep. Is he a legend in the Premier League?
I mean, he won everything, didn't he? He won every trophy he could possibly win.
Champions League.
Obviously, people are always going to go back to one Premier League title, and I'm just wondering if you guys would hold that against him or not.
When you've lost so narrowly, but when you've lost it so narrowly to a team that have the amount of charges that Man City have, I mean, there is an argument to say that if they are convicted, Man City, and we go through this process, some of those titles should be looked at. Like to win on 1 point.
Well, I'm just saying for context. Obviously, Mourinho got 3 or 4. Wenger got 3.
Yeah. So we know who the daddy is.
Yeah. Obviously, Pep has got God knows how many. Sir Alex has got God knows how many. So does he make it into that top 5?
My list would be Fergie top.
Yeah.
Pep second.
Yeah.
Wenger third.
You don't put Jose above Wenger?
No, because Wenger did something no one else has done, whereas Jose did things that other people had done.
I mean, 15 goals.
Jose, though.
Regardless, you've got. You've got Jose and Conte, who both won more Premier League titles. If I'm right thinking. Do you say Conte got 2?
What do you say? Jose done things.
Conte got 1, right? Ancelotti got 1.
I think Conte got 2.
Ancelotti got 1.
How many Premier League titles did Conte get?
I think he only got 1.
Was it only 1?
Yeah.
So Mourinho got 3. Was it 3 or 4? Was it 3?
Mourinho's good.
Let's just say 3. A minimum 3. So Mourinho got 3 times the Premier League trophies, and you're putting Klopp above him.
The reason I am is because but Mourinho did it when Chelsea were basically what Man City are now.
That's naughty. That know that he made that a fortress.
I think
you couldn't go Stamford Bridge. He did that. Jose built that. That's not fair, man.
I don't know. I remember those times. I
course you do. That's where you're talking from a bit of space because he kind of shat all over your man.
It's tight. But the thing for me is that Klopp came into a Liverpool team who were absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, they were shot.
They were shot.
They were absolutely nowhere.
No, but you have to remember, Jose came and took on Sir Alex.
Is he in our top 5 Premier League managers?
No.
Really, KG?
I think I think he's got to be. I mean, when you look at those some of those managers, they haven't won the Champions League, and you have to factor the Champions League into it.
The four that people have said are Pep, Sir Alex, Wenger,
Mourinho,
and then Klopp. It's Mourinho and Klopp. Is that the five?
Okay,
I think that's the five. Is there anyone want to put anyone else in there?
I think that's fair.
Here's the thing. It's been built in his identity, and he's powered this club. He's been the life and soul of the club for so long, and I don't think he's leaving them in a bad position. But you're losing Salah and you're losing Klopp in the same summer.
Horrible.
That's inevitable, right?
Horrid.
Whoever comes in, you're kind of fucked because the reputation of the club has been to do, challenge for titles.
Yeah.
But you're not even going to have the best player there to start off with. It's a bit like what Spurs kind of inherited, not the same way, but you're starting without Harry Kane.
This is worse.
Yeah.
This is worse. I'm telling you, like the impact of Klopp as a manager on those players is huge. They run for him. They'll go for brick wall. Yeah. They're crazy for him, and especially when it gets bad, I believe there's that feeling of I can only imagine Liverpool fans trust their manager. If he says, even when he had the bad season, Liverpool fans weren't calling for Klopp's head. They knew that they'll be back in a situation. That last season was a bad season for them. Challenge for the title because that's who they are. So now when it gets rough, the new person, and they have to get that right. And there's gonna be a drop off. Naturally, there was a drop off when they lost Mane. We're talking about losing leaders. If you do lose Virgil van Dijk and a Salah, plus the manager, come on.
It's interesting, as an Arsenal fan, I look at it and I kind of compare it to what happened with Wenger when Wenger left. And obviously we brought Emery in and it kind of went wrong.
Nightmare.
And I almost think you actually need that. Because Arteta now, we all love him. We all want a contract extension. We're not worried about him going to Barcelona, but we don't want him to leave. And
slightly.
The thing is, we do associate a lot of success with Arteta now. And I think all of us believe in what he's building. But I kind of think we actually needed Emery to come in and just be the guy after the guy.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
A little bit.
Exactly.
Like Moisey did.
Exactly. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. And I actually think if Arteta had gone straight in after Wenger, it wouldn't have worked.
Horrid.
So,
like Van Gaal did. Sorry, like Mourinho. Like Oli. Like Ten Hag.
You're a wank.
When's it going to go?
You're a wank.
When's it going to?
I've noticed what you're doing here, and that's why I want relegation. I'm looking at. I've got a keen eye on Newcastle. Yeah. But you're making a point, even with Poch.
A middleman.
Because let's have it right. When Poch left, Poch was everything for Spurs, even though they didn't win anything. But then they went through they had that scrub from Nottingham Forest. They had they've had Conte. They've had all these funny managers.
Let's talk about the level of drop off.
Finally, this new manager, it makes it feel brilliant again. So I'm saying that in that same feeling, it could happen again.
No, but the drop off though, right? Like I just want a bit of context for you guys. Newcastle, when we were breathing down Man United's neck, we finished second. We changed the manager. Kevin Keegan finished. The next season, we went from second to 13th in one season.
I love it.
Now, I'm just saying, not saying that that's going to happen because you'd think there'd be too much quality, but when a man manager, which is exactly what Kevin Keegan was, he was a motivator.
Yes.
When you rip him out the team, the level of motivation can sometimes drop to a level that we've never seen before.
Spirit of the club.
Now, I don't think Kevin Keegan is a patch on Jurgen Klopp, right? God, I love Kevin Keegan, but it's just what it is.
Yeah.
So,
he was the soul of your club.
Absolutely. So what I'm trying to suggest to the table is what are the regions for a drop that we can imagine? So let's say best case scenario, worst case scenario. Obviously, best case is you don't miss a beat, but realistically, let's keep it realistic. What you expect to happen versus what could happen.
I think they'll stay in the top four because I don't know who takes their place. Like who leapfrogs Liverpool next?
Well, we've already seen that this season's been quite competitive up there.
Spurs.
You'll have Villa spending more money, Newcastle spending more money, Spurs building from where they are. Remember, Liverpool have got a restart here. So
they've got a bit of it. So who's going? Salah's going? And Salah's not on the pitch today.
Salah and Klopp are definitely going. So we know that they are going to lose one of the greatest players that's ever played in the Premier League and one of the greatest managers, by your own words, have the Premier League. It's a big loss, that.
It is a big loss. If they get Xabi Alonso, they've got the most exciting young manager in Europe coming to them. But which, by the way, I don't think they should do. I think he is unproven. I still think there's a stylistic difference, and the Bundesliga, as we've learned many times, Kai Havertz is very different to the Premier League.
Ten Hag was exciting apparently once, but I agree though. I think this is a great match for them. But I just want to put it across, and also again, Mo Salah, goals and assists coming out of his ears.
I think there's enough talent in Liverpool that they stay in the top four. And this is the thing. I think if there was a Chelsea, a United, a Brighton, as there was last season, like Newcastle will come back because of the money they got. But like, if there were teams outside the top 4 right now who were really forcing their way in, I'd say, yeah, Liverpool, you got to look over your shoulder. Right now, I think they can almost afford a transition.
Nah, 5. I think. Like,
who's coming for them? Who's coming for them? So name.
I think teams can surprise you.
Four teams that are going to finish above Liverpool.
Do you not think
that the drop off in man motivation from Jurgen Klopp? Because remember, all of these players play to the level that they do with an extra whatever percentage you put on it because of Jurgen Klopp.
We're talking about international players here. We're talking about Alex McAllister, who won a World Cup. We're talking about Szoboszlai, who scores goals for Hungary and has scored a lot of goals. Okay. I think we forget sometimes. They've got stupidly good players.
Oh, no, I'm just making the argument because I think it's important to address that it could drop off. Like we've seen that.
The reason I think, Brian, that it could drop off is because I don't think it's just Salah. I think Van Dijk might go. I think there are other players in that team that could go as well. I think if you start talking about a Van Dijk going and a Salah going, then we have a conversation.
I think Van Dijk is leveraging for a new contract. It's great he said that. He said that at the right time. He's hoping now that they know there's too much change. We can't lose 3 in one go. So Van Dijk saying this now secures his retirement fund and he gets to stay at Liverpool and he just to be there as to help through the transition that they're going to go through.
The thing is, we're talking about a team who are top 1, 2, 3 in the league. Like I think if you would say who's the top 3 teams in the league right now, you'd say City, Liverpool, and probably Arsenal, right?
Yep.
When you're at that level of the Premier League, it only takes 2 transfers to go wrong, and things go really wrong. I look at Arsenal essentially swapping Xhaka for Havertz this season. I think we're a bit worse. If they get the replacement to Salah wrong, that's when I think you could talk about it. I think if Van Dijk goes and they replace him, they get it wrong. That's
when you say replacing Salah, though. Think about how mentally hard.
Of course, mate. Of course it is.
Yeah, of course it's easier to get wrong than it is to get right. Surely. And the thing about the level of money that it would take to get right, and the level of money that Liverpool stereotypically spend, I mean, even Mbappe isn't guaranteed to get it right. Like Mo Salah is unique.
Where do you see them going? Do you think they could drop out of the Champions League?
100%.
Do you think they will?
And look, I'm not saying I expect it because I agree that they've got great players. But if there's one thing I'm aware of is losing a man motivator, it's huge that the percentage of those kind of players, like what they can get out of players, and then losing your best footballer, arguably, that you've had in the last 30 fucking years together. I mean, if they stay in the top 4, that would be a miracle to me.
That'd be job done. Job done. Whoever
I think
comes
that'd be fantastic. If you can maintain top 4 while losing your greatest manager in God knows how long, your greatest footballer in God knows how long, in the same summer, and stay in top 4, that would be unbelievable. Because I tell you now, Newcastle are signing an Adidas deal. We're going to be spending money. I'm sure Aston Villa are spending money. I'm sure Spurs are going to try and come. Man United,
don't leave us out. Don't leave us out, lads.
Like, I'm not saying that. I think Man United
don't
absolutely
leave us out.
If they change their manager, right?
You can't leave us out.
The point is, Liverpool are in a good situation, but just to have to reset while everyone else does not reset, does not lose their best player. Everyone else has got an advantage over you because they're not going through that, in my opinion. So I think Liverpool would do fantastically well to stay in the top 4 without Jurgen Klopp and Salah.
I'm not sure about the quality of the teams underneath him. Like, I think
that's
City,
my concern.
I think City do end up sort of like regaining the title, especially if Pep does stay. It'll be inevitable, and that kind of feels like Pep's last season next year. Like, he'll be up for it, and he'll stay and win the title. I think. Pep
will stay as long as it's easy.
I honestly do feel that Liverpool will be second. Now, if you're saying to me how far can they fall, of course they can fall far back. I think they finish second next year with a new manager.
Without Salah.
I do. The reason why is because they've still got quality front 4, let alone if they end up going to sign someone. And they still have, I mean, if Van Dijk just runs down his contract and potentially gets another one, and they sign Trent up to a new deal, which is very realistic. Trent isn't going to go to another club after Liverpool. He really isn't. So if you see that, they've really kind of got the majority of their core still going to be playing for
team of champions, by the way. I just want to let you know.
I think you've got to be honest with it. But you've got to be honest, that team wasn't a championship.
We still know
that was a third.
It was a terrible league.
They won it. No, but I'm saying they're not a team that was expected. When it gets bad, you just got to think of when it gets bad. Are you the motivator to get the best out of the players? When it's dark times, when let's say you get two home defeats. fans are not used to that. There's all sorts of it's
I
different.
think Klopp's leaving them in a great position squad wise, and that's why I agree. I'm not appalled by anyone saying top 4, top 2. Like, it could happen. I'm just saying, like, without Klopp and the magic he brings and the magic of Mo Salah on the pitch, people don't understand that. Like, do you know those days where the rest of the squad aren't really 100%?
Yes.
Those two motherfuckers are always 100%.
But you said,
and what I've seen a million times before is in games where match winners like that exist, they turn draws into wins, man.
Yeah.
And I just think that naturally would happen more without them.
But you say that though, but come on, like, name me 2 other teams that are going to be above, below them.
But the point is, is right now you can only envisage Liverpool as you're watching them right now. But that's set up by Jurgen Klopp, managed by Jurgen Klopp, motivated by Jurgen Klopp, led by Mo Salah. And all I'm saying is in my opinion, the percentage that adds, I think you are underestimating. There's a reason why we're sat around the table right now going, Jurgen Klopp, top 5 managers of all time.
Yeah.
Even though he's only won the league once, we still because we know the dominance and the effect that he has. And for me, that you just can't, until it's not there, none of us are able to say for sure. But I think that impact is massive to this team. I hate playing Jurgen Klopp teams. They're unbelievable.
I do, yeah. And I do agree with you, by the way. Yeah. I agree with Josh. I think it's more about what's below Liverpool right now.
Spurs can kick on.
Spurs can kick on. One thing that this Premier League has shown us this season, though, is teams can put runs together out of fucking nowhere.
Absolutely.
And be breathing down your neck. Like, I said Aston Villa Champions League at the start of the season is an option. I got laughed at, right? Now, they've been one of the most consistent teams in 2023 moving into this year. Newcastle just spanked them, it's whatever, you know. But I'm just saying, like, teams can develop a bit of form out of nowhere and all of a sudden you've got problems.